All right, it's March 31st. This is Tuesday, but I'm going over some trades from actual Monday, March 30th. And I just wanted to highlight that, I mentioned in one of my groups that this is pretty much like the test of my strategy because I traded on AHPI on Friday and then Thursday going into Friday did pretty well. But because we're heading into or we're in a bull bear market, we have left a bull market. I really want to test my strategy to ensure that it can really work on any market. So these were some of the stocks that I had on watch, and as we can actually give a look, you know, we can look at APT. APT did pretty well from Friday going into today. As you can see, it made a nice jump. It was up 18% on the day. Ended on a red candlestick. Not one of my biggest fans, but it does still follow my strategy. We'll see if 15 is the resistance or not. Um, also, got in on Vapo. I sold them. Actually, I had a small position in them earlier today. It was a overnight hold actually from Friday, and I let it go. And I wasn't sure if it was actually going to go a little bit higher, and it actually did. It did what I thought it was going to do, but I didn't trust it. So I ended up rebuying this today at 1950. So I'm in right now. We'll see if it will go a little bit higher and break. Oops. Let's see if it'll go a little bit higher and break this $20 area and try to maybe go to 2050. I could maybe 2050, but if it can go higher than that, that would be amazing too. Um, so did Vapo, did APT. Let's go to two more because I just want to focus on one stock. Let's see. No. mRNA. mRNA. Um, it's it did it closed higher than it did on Friday, but it did also come back. Like it did do a major pullback to the 28 area, and it ended on a red candlestick. So I'm not 100% sure the direction of this, but we do know that the government is working with mRNA with their single-stranded RNA vaccine, a possible vaccine that should be heading on out and be worked on sometime during the summer, towards the end of the summer. So this will be something that will be a very vast designation to have this type of vaccine that's going to serve people at a wide magnitude. So mRNA is pretty much leading the charge on that. Of course, with Johnson and Johnson and other pharmaceutical companies. Um, then we can go to one more, another one that I've had on kind of I had my eye on it, but it's just the way that it trades. It trades kind of weird, and then the amount of shares that's in this float is 226 million. I typically like stocks that are a little bit less than that. Like I'm talking about 80 million and below. 20 million is perfect because it's like damn near short. It's like a smaller float, so you get a short squeeze that happen oftentimes there. But this one, because it's a relatively new company, and we can see the last time that it actually ran, it ran, um, you know, from what the $20 area to $105 in a matter of 5 months. So, the potential in this land is in this land of stocks right now, because of the coronavirus, has put a lot of stocks at a higher value territory than it typically would need to be. Um, but I want to really focus on my stock of choice, which was AIM, Immunotech, and AIM Immunotech is working on a drug that has been approved in Argentina to treat for severe chronic fatigue syndrome, and because their drug is more of a double-stranded RNA. A type of experimental drug. The actual coronavirus is single-stranded RNA, so it's a little bit different on how the virus itself replicates. But we know that there are some companies that are using drugs that will cure the underlying illness, like the shortness of breath or the dry cough, things of that nature, and the fatigue that you might get, that people who have been suffering from coronavirus might get. But with this company, there's a lot of hope that not only that does approval from Argentina is a strong approval or one that's highly recognized, but also that their earnings come out with some positive results. And we're supposed to receive their earnings report at the end of the market close, but didn't really get any numbers. But there was some positive price action, and I'm not a big fan of buying stocks during when earnings are about to be released because I can never know what's going to happen. But I did get a little bit overzealous and bought this stock when it was starting to come, when it was starting to go up. I was seeing that it was trading above this. Yeah, it was trading above the VWAP, this purple line, and when it traded above the VWAP, I knew that it was going to have some positive traction more on the upside. So I ended up getting in at 315, and then from there it like just kind of collapsed on down, and it collapsed until it actually you know waited out at 260, or it found some support at 260, and it kept on testing 260 a couple of times, as you can see, like right here, almost right there, but definitely right here, right here, right here, right here, until it found some more traction, more in the after hours. So there's no real news on why this happened in the after hours, but I'm gonna be really intrigued on what it does plan on doing, what it will do when like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. really starts rolling around. Those are the times that I typically see stocks like this that tend to move a lot higher. Um, so, being ready for that spike is, quintessential. So, I think that this stock will have an opportunity to probably retest that 345 area. If not, it will pull back and it will drop. If market sentiment does not agree with anything that is being reported about this company. Like I said, there's only so much that was released after hours, so I don't know what happened other than technically it is falling in line. Usually I look for other candlesticks that might look the same as what it's doing, and this candlestick might be followed with a red candlestick going down, but this was in a different time frame with different moving averages. So, but that's the behavior of it. After a sharp spike like that, it likes to have a candlestick that pulled back down. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I'll probably actually put a sell order just in case, and so I can keep watch on this. But this is one stock, like I said, if I was not overzealous at the very beginning, and if I was just waiting according to my plan, according to my strategy, like I typically do, and especially like I did with VAPO, where I waited for the technicals to show me when to buy. And when a stock goes this high, that strong, really it took about an hour for that to actually happen, and it pulls back. Um, you, if it's really that strong of a stock and you want to really get into it, definitely just bear on the side of risk, knowing that the stock can always pull back to the 260 area. You know, once a stock can pull back to a 260 area, then we know, which is that 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is that level of support. and use that. Use your EMAs to really guide you. You know, if the 50 EMA crosses over the VWAP, but the 100 EMA doesn't cross over the VWAP, just know that the possibility of it going higher has been reduced, and looking at a time where it could actually test the 200 EMA, it will, that should guide you. That should be the place that that, hey, don't risk too much, because once it's up and none of the other EMAs are over the VWAP, the possibilities of this stock pulling all the way back, which it did here, this was a perfect example actually. And for a stock to pull all the way back, the potential there is greatly induced or greatly enhanced. So, you know, that happened here. I got overzealous, bought and held, and I held typically really only because the 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 chart pattern. At the time, uh, this candlestick was above three, and it was engulfing this candlestick over here. Now, it's more of where it closed. It's more that it covered that 271 area after hours, but not during the actual trading day. So I'm not a big fan of that part. But we'll see what happens in the after hours. Like we see now on the hour, it's overbought, but there's some buying power. On the year chart, it's not overbought. The year chart is still trying to weed out some sellers. This has a lot of shorts, shortable shares available. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a struggle in the 320s and 350 area. Other than that, if I started to see that it's not holding three, I'll just, get out, cut my losses, and go on to the next trade. All right. Well, with that being said, I don't see much more that needs to be said about AIM. So, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please definitely leave a comment down below. And like always, trade safely. Until next time, enjoy.